welcome everyone to episode 138 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, time, is it our time with Portia?
The sports car? Yes, definitely. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, let's do that, but not the car. It is, in fact, the game called My Time at Portia.
Spelt differently.
Spelt a lot differently. Well, yeah. POR, it starts with the same POR, but after that, it's a whole mess. But this game was developed by Pathea Games. Pathea Games. Ooh, sorry.
I think Pathea sounds right.
Pathea Games.
I liked what you said first.
Thank you. And this game came out in July of 2019. I played this on the PC. It was 8.54 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
I want to know what's going on here, Chris, because it was nearly half the size at 4.5 gigabytes on the Series S.
Good golly. That is
what happened there? 4 gigs?
4 gigs that they just completely shucked out of the Xbox version of this game.
Yeah, you could put 2 of the Xbox Ones on your PC.
Yeah, we could. But what kind of game is this, though, Tom?
I put something very short, and yours I see is much longer. My short version is simulation RPG.
Yeah, and those words did not even come into my mind because it gave me vibes of a third-person, cozy Stardew Valley / Harvest Moon like game.
Yes. So. See that I think that lives in the sim for me.
Yeah.
And then the RPG comes in with the leveling up your character and whatnot.
That's true. 100%. It's there. It's all there. And go ahead.
I was going to ask you what you have for your game loop.
My game loop is complete objectives to level up your character to allow you to gather and build new things.
Mine is not that different. Harvest resources to build items to complete quests so you can upgrade your character and your tools.
Right. Yes. Tools are a big deal in this game, aren't they? But
indeed.
What else is a big deal for us is finding out what we liked about this game in our hour. So what did you like, Tom?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying that there are lots of options in character creation.
Yeah.
And you can do the I'm going to make myself in the world type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, because I gave myself green hair and a green beard and there were alien skin tones. And you have really crazy options for adjusting your face, which seems kind of wild because you're not really looking at your character's face ever. So,
no.
But you can adjust a lot of it.
I was really surprised how in-depth it went. Like, even if you select a hairstyle, you can play around with the length of hair for that particular style. I was like, wow, they really put some thought into this. So, and the nice thing that I don't think I saw in your notes was the fact that you can have your voice, like you can have a voice in your game, or you can have it completely off, like a silent protagonist. Ooh. So it's pretty sweet. It's a pretty nice option to have. So
yeah,
because we'll get into it though. But yeah.
Well, speaking of voice acting, it appears to be fully voice acted because even random NPCs in the street are talking to you.
Yeah, that was again. I didn't realize how but I guess it makes sense because you are living in this town of Portia and you're going to be talking to a lot of people. And I'm glad that they took the time to go and get people to just read these dialogue prompts for you. That's great. Well done.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah. And funny enough, we're going back to the but character creation part of it. I just went through the whole, like, just give me a random face and stuff like that.
Sure.
And the one that it did fall on was someone with a green and purple hairstyle. Like, so they had a beard, a green and purple, like it was a gradient for green and purple.
Oh.
And I was like, how appropriate. So I went with that. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sporting our colors.
Yeah. Absolutely. But the other thing is this game was pretty easy to pick up and play, I thought. Like, not many buttons that you really had to know too much of. And the tutorial I thought was a good it was good. Like it was just enough for you to kind of get yourself into the world, introduce like why you're here, and you're off to the races.
Yeah, I enjoyed that it keeps you moving through the experience, at least for that first hour, where it's very directed, which is good. because it is a very open world game. You could very easily get lost in the weeds. But the game is telling you where to go. You know, if you're not doing it, that's on you. But it lets you know what you're supposed to be doing.
Right, exactly. And with those things, like I guess we can kind of talk about this, is the fact that your character is going to this town of Portia, and you are basically picking up where your father abandoned you at some point, and then he's like, oh well, here, take my workshop and then like make it better again. He's at this point he's passed away, so he's giving this workshop to you for you to do your thing, be somebody in Portia. So it was
and the town needs you.
The town needs me, apparently. Yeah. So we have to. I'm kind of curious if you learn more about your father, your estranged father.
I assume that you do. I mean, I didn't in the hour, but
yeah, right.
Considering, I'm going to segue here, Chris. Yeah. There are lots of things to do.
Yeah,
I think the game keeps you very busy.
Oh yeah.
So it seems to me like I would think that something big like that is going to be covered later on. Like the game is not hurting for content, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
True. Yeah, there is. You could be and I think the other thing I liked about this is how you can, I guess, get to your achieve your objectives and stuff like that. I thought everything was placed in the world fairly decently, you know, and then like, so if you needed wood, you can construct an axe and a pickaxe and whatnot stuff. But, you know, if you look around, you might be able to find random pieces of wood that just lying on the floor, and pieces of stone that you could just take and pick up and gather like that. And then there's random like chests that might have goodies for you to grab and use. So, you know, it was nice. It definitely encouraged you to explore. So
yes, absolutely. And I do think that was I liked the art style for what it was. You know, it's colorful, it's bright. I think it would be attractive in the same way that, you know, Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing or one of those sorts of games would be. Probably kids would probably like it. And it's going to look good, you know, or good enough for a long time.
Yeah, the art style, I don't know if you remember those little figurines, the Precious Moments figurines.
Yeah.
Kind of gave me that vibe. Like it's like they're just like older versions of those little kids. So, definitely. I mean, but yeah, Harvest Moon and all them have that kind of giant head look and feel. And so yeah, like it has a cute look to it for sure overall. And that's all I got. My likes though, Tom. Do you have anything for your?
I have one more, which is I think I was surprised by the amount of depth into it, at least insofar as it felt like a full-fledged RPG to me.
Yeah.
Which I really wasn't expecting. I was expecting kind of just like a farming simulator type game. I didn't think my character would have all these stats and that there would be all these armors and weapons and things like I didn't expect a full suite of like RPG progression, leveling up your character kind of stuff.
And I think for them, like not only like, because there's dungeons and stuff that we didn't really touch on, like, so the early dungeons are fairly harmless. You're just going in there and digging. But later on, as you progress through the game, there's assumptions that there is enemies that you need to attack, and so there are places where you can go and craft weapons to attack said things. And so I thought that was interesting. I thought even like the construction part of it, like building the either the tools or the materials, gathering the materials, like it seemed like it could get pretty complex later on, at least like what you're trying to build. So I thought that was kind of neat. And it definitely touches on the fact that there is definitely some depth to this game. So
considering we only played an hour,
exactly. You
use conjecture on what the rest of the game was going to look like.
Absolutely. So
speaking of the rest of the game, what didn't you like, Chris?
Well, while I understand your point about the game looks good, like for the most part, there was some like the game felt dated, and by that I mean like the animations that your character go through and stuff like that was very stiff, robotic even, and also the voice acting. While it was great that there was voice acting, I felt like a lot of those voice actors were not great. They definitely, I don't know if they like phoned it in or whatever, but they just You could tell.
Hey man, look, they got to record a lot of dialogue.
They do.
So
that's for sure. But hey, they might be getting paid for it. So
yeah,
put your best foot forward there, or your best mouth forward in this case.
Don't put your foot in your mouth.
Don't put your foot in your mouth. Yes, that's right. I thought though, the other thing that was an interesting concept, but the stamina meter that you have, I guess you have SP is how they labeled it here. Stamina points, I guess that's what it is. And that basically tells you how much work you can do throughout the day. So whether it is going into the dungeon and gathering materials there, or going throughout the world and building stuff or whatnot. Actually, no, building the workshop stuff didn't really cost SP. It was just really the gathering, hunting and gathering seemed to cause your SP to go down every day. So there was that. That was kind of stuff here. What about you, Tom?
So my first point in both categories is there's lots of options in character creation, which can be terrible for me. But fortunately, I think this fell more likes and dislikes. But in the dislikes, there is a prompt during character creation that says some of the options cannot be changed later. And that is a damning thing to tell me.
Right.
Which is, you're not going to be able to, you better make the right choice right now.
Right.
I don't like that. Why can't I go to the salon or whatever and just redo my whole character later if I want?
I did see a barber shop though in the town. So I felt
and maybe you could only redo your hair, but if you change, put the wrong eyebrows on or something, you're stuck with them forever.
They don't have a plastic surgeon in town. That's what happens.
Yeah, it also doesn't tell you which options you can't change later. Which if you're going to tell me these can't be changed later, well, tell me which things.
Right.
Don't let me guess.
That's kind of lame. I didn't say that, but
yeah. Also, you mentioned audio issues, or at least your issue with the voice acting. Yeah. I had some issues with the music balance, like the volume that the game was on. Like the music was incredibly high when I first started up the game. Now I fixed it. Obviously, I can go into the options and reduced it, and that's what I did.
Sure,
but you'd think it would be at a medium level when you start the game. It's not.
No.
It's full tilted to the music.
There's been a lot of games where I felt like they crank it all the way up and you're like, what is going on? And I'm only at maybe 20-25% on my headphones, like master volume, and this thing was cranked out. Like, okay, that's crazy. But with the audio, I will say that the music was fine. Like it did its purpose, but it definitely looped a lot. Like you heard the same thing over and over again. Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed this. There's I think it's every time you leave your workshop or get into the main world, open world, there's just the beginning of Bittersweet Symphony. It sounded like it was playing in this game. I don't know. It was just weird, which I didn't know also Bittersweet Symphony was a ripoff of some other song way back when. So
this is all news to me, Chris. And for what it's worth, I did not hear it while I was playing the game, but maybe you have a fine-tuned ear and I don't. I'm not sure.
What else did you know?
Let's see. You have a very small inventory as a character, which means you're going to be doing a lot of inventory management. I do not like doing inventory management. I don't want to find out about that within the first hour of the game. I guess it's good to learn that early.
Yeah.
But if I learn that early, that means it's going to be a problem for me for the whole game.
Yeah.
So yuck. No, thank you.
Yeah, especially since you're doing a lot of gathering of resources and stuff like that. It is definitely unfortunate that your backpack or whatever it is very tiny. It's too small. But it is and that's what prompted me to then go into the workshop and build a chest, I guess, a small chest for you to drop stuff in. Yeah. And I guess speaking of that, I guess there's some clunkiness with the game in terms of constructing things and stuff like that. They actually, those items need to actually be on your hotbar.
Yes.
And you had to select them, and then you would be able to construct or use that material for whatever you're building. And I thought that was kind of odd. Why didn't it just it's on me, it's on my person to just use it? But no, you had to physically put it into your hotbar for it to be used, which is I thought that was kind of too simmy.
It's not intuitive, right? At a minimum.
Yeah. I mean, they do prompt you or they give you warnings and stuff like that, but it was still kind of like meh, kind of lame. And then I thought the mini map, I didn't really like how the mini map was because the way that it was orientated, I think it was like you're like it was fixed, but your character was always pointing down or something like that. It was something weird. I was like, what? Why is it like that? Like I had to like constantly open the big map to find out where I was because there was something about the way it was set up that I was like, I don't like how this map looks. It's not fun to use.
And you need to use it a lot because a lot of these missions are running back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, pick this up, drop that off, go talk to this guy, go over here. Now go back and talk to that guy. So there's a lot of like running back and forth.
Oh yeah, got those lovely fetch quests.
Yeah, so. This is a prime example of the fetch quest.
Yeah.
Other things that bugged me. The only way to save your game is to sleep.
Yeah.
Which is not good if you want to play this game for a short little bit of time. Nope. You have to basically play a full day, and then sleep, and then you'd save your game. Mm-hmm. And like, what if you wanted to? What if something happened in the middle of the day, and you're like, oh, perfect, okay, now I built the thing, and I want to save the game, and I guess you're going to go to bed at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Right. It's and then when you have the stamina points, which we were talking about earlier, it's like I have all this ability right now. Yeah. I want to be able to like gather and stuff like that, and that, like you said, takes a lot of time. So it's just that kind of constant push pull of do you want to take a break? But then it's like, well, then you lose all that potential work and stuff because you got to make money. You're trying to be the very best in Portia as a workshop or whatnot. So days count. And apparently there's some romancing that you could do in this game too. Obviously in the first hour I didn't try that, but
yes, I did not encounter that either. Yeah. I will tell you though, as my final dislike, that what I did encounter were some glitches.
Ooh.
So like when I was trying to do the fishing situation, it would do this weird thing where it would like go in, go out, and like I couldn't get it to start. And it just created this weird. I felt like there were certain prompts and steps that just seemed missing from the experience.
That's unfortunate.
Maybe I hadn't triggered the cutscene that you need to do before you can actually start fishing, but I went and talked to the guy who does the fishing and broke some kind of loop or something. I don't know. But just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Every open world game suffers from these sorts of things.
Right. And it's like, is it game breaking? Didn't seem like it broke your game, but
no.
It was just a little foresight there, or
and it's
lack of foresight.
I'm in the starting area, right? Like I didn't travel that far from my workshop or anything. Like you'd think at least anything you could get to within the first hour would be troubleshot pretty well.
Yeah,
I get it. Hour 55, maybe not all of your playtesters got that far,
Right, it is what it is. But yeah, any other thoughts here, though? Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, do you have any more dislikes, Chris? Or
I do not. I do not.
Okay,
let's move on to those.
Okay, so other thoughts. I wanted to point out that regardless of how Chris and I feel, this game has a strong enough following to warrant a sequel. And so there's another game called My Time at Sandrock, and it was released into early access on PC on May 26, 2022.
Okay.
So just throwing it out there that this game did well enough to have a sequel made of it that perhaps fixes some of the problems that Chris and I have. I'm not sure. We didn't play it.
Nope.
And that I saw that Pathea released a few other games, including Planet Explorers, which I have seen on Game Pass, which is like a voxel sandbox sort of game. Okay. Super Buckyball Tournament and Ever Forward. Now, I haven't seen either of those on Game Pass. I'm not sure if they are, but just putting out there that these guys have made a few games. So
yeah, all right, cool. I will say that How Long to Beat says this game takes about, if you golden path it, 69 hours.
Heyo.
Yeah. But
it's very specific.
It's very specific how long to beat. Put that on there, and I understand. But that's it in terms of, apparently there's no cross saves. There is no Xbox presence, nothing. This is like one of those games. I mean, it is a fairly, like, it is an older game, so I kind of understand them going back, and maybe the new one has all that stuff. Or I don't know if it's on Xbox. Like you said, it was early access in 2022.
PC May 2022.
So not sure what the deal is with that, but Yeah, it's I was a little surprised like about that, but it is what it is. But before we get to our final thoughts, though, Tom, I do want to thank our sponsor, cdkeys.com, for letting us supporting the show, and you can support the show by clicking the link in our podcast description or our lovely YouTube description as well. And click that link, check out all the cool stuff that's there on cdkeys.com. Up to 90% off of some games, Tom, too. You know that?
Yeah, that's
Maybe
right.
this game's there. I don't know. They have new stuff all the time. So check it out, cdkeys.com. Now, Tom,
yes.
Are we going back into that workshop and trying our best to be the best?
So I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was actually pretty fun. And it was pretty hard for me to put down, especially since I just can't save wherever I want. So I did sneak into the end of the day there. I cut off the stream at the hour.
Yeah.
And then I made sure that I was able to save my game because I was like, hey, maybe I will go back to this. I think it taught me important lessons about why people really enjoy the Animal Crossings and the Harvest Moons and games like this.
Right.
I could definitely see the appeal now, having played something like this, but I'm not sure that it's for me. I have a feeling that I'm not going to go back to play it. It's still on my system, but I think it's probably not going to get played again, especially in light of other things that are calling to me.
Indeed. And for me, this is my like you. This is my first time playing this type of game. I've seen a bunch of people that are like really into Stardew and obviously the Harvest Moons and Animal Crossings and stuff like that. Even my kids have Animal Crossing, and I try to stay away from it. But I understand the itch this scratches for people, and I thought that was really cool. And just like you, my time definitely went by quickly in this game. It gave me kind of vibes of like way back when I played WoW.
Yeah, it has a very MMO kind of flavor to it,
right.
But you're all alone.
Yeah, you're all alone. So the thing is, this game is, I thought, showing its legs, and there are probably better versions of this game. Like hell, they made their own a newer game. Yeah. So if you happen to be on Game Pass and you're like, I want to try something that's like Harvest Moon or something like that, maybe this. Yeah. But then even on the flip side, there's a new game or a relatively new game called Story of Seasons that came out to Game Pass since we played this. So it was like, I don't know. I don't see myself playing it, but if you want to, if someone else wants to try it out, by all means. So those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us to say hello on Twitter at TC1H1D or shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out if you're listening on this on Spotify, we might have some questions that you might, we'd love for you to answer for us. Or, if you're ever bored and want to see us play our games on Twitch, check us out over there at twitch.tv/1H1D. And finally, we've got some, obviously this could be, you could be watching this on YouTube and you could be sending us a little reply over there. So, shoot one over there. That'd be kind of cool.
Do it.
See that. Do it. And 1H1D is part of that QTV network. So, got some cool, great content, not just cool, but hot stuff. Hot stuff over there. We got blogs.
All kinds of temperatures
of various types. And check that all out at quitthebuild.com/network. Now, Tom.
Yes.
We kind of have to find out what we're playing next, don't we?
Yes. Is the surprise me button going to take care of this?
Not this time. We are having a request from a guest.
Ho ho.
And that guest is Chris Copleen from the Retro Hangover podcast. Great guy. And he is telling us that we need to play Sea of Stars.
Okay.
Yeah. He's really excited.
Hot
off the press. We're going to try that out. And we will let you know what our thoughts about that game are. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this episode. And we will catch you for the next one.
Thanks, everybody.